everybody. I'm Starla.
I'm Mik.
And we are
Our Family Plays Games. Yeah.
And welcome to our preview of Nature, sponsored by NorthStar Games.
Now, family, this is a fantastic looking game, I tell you, and it's coming on Kickstarter very, very soon. Now, here's Starla with an overview of this beautiful looking game. Here we go.
Welcome to the beauty of nature, where every game brings new worlds to explore. Nature is a modular game system that allows you to build and explore a unique ecosystem each time you play. Each module adds a different layer of complexity and new nature cards. Nature is easy to get to the table and has a simple rule set. Typically, this game is played over 4 rounds, but it can be extended or shortened depending on the length of game you want to play, or with the addition of various modules. Each round has 4 phases. The preparation phase, in which you add food to the watering hole, draw 5 cards, and gain a new species. The adapting phase, in which you utilize nature cards from your hand to gain population or size for a species. You may also play a trait card that modifies the species' abilities. It may even become a predator. The feeding phase, where you feed each hungry species by either foraging from the watering hole to get a plant token or hunting other species to get a meat token. If you're unable to forage or hunt with any of your species, that population will die of starvation. Lastly, the cleanup phase, in which plant and meat tokens on top of population tokens are placed into your food bag. Each token is worth 1 point at the end of the game. Nature comes with 5 modules: Jurassic, Flight, Rainforest, Arctic Tundra, and Natural Disasters. At launch, the Nature game system will support 22 unique configurations of modules. Over the course of the next decade, NorthStar Games will release new modules each year, which will exponentially increase the number of combinations and add to the overall replayability of this crave-worthy game. All right, let's take a look at nature.
Yes, the circle of life right here.
Yes.
Right here. It is. It is.
So this game is so thematic.
Yes, it is.
Because what you're doing is you're putting together your species, and it's like survival of the fittest.
Basically, it's a survival of the fittest with your opponent and with your own self.
Exactly.
You know, because like the theme just shows it all off. And, you know, I mean, from the, watering hole where you get your plants. From, the predators around. I mean, just the theme is everywhere. And how you got to avoid the predators. I mean, it's almost like a documentary that you might see of how, animals survive in nature.
Yes.
In all these different type of places.
Right. And you're building these species in order to make them survive.
Yes.
You don't want to build too fast.
No.
Because then you can't feed them, and you want to make sure that they have strengths and attributes so that the predators can't take them out.
And what's so crazy about the themes of all the other modules that they kind of fit in, like with the tundra.
Yes.
The theme is like, it's winter and it's, you struggle to find food, and it's embedded in that theme.
Yes.
And then with flight, how birds
Beautiful
migrate,
birds.
they migrate. It's in the theme.
Very
and
thematic.
then with Jurassic, well, hey, they're dinosaurs eating everything. It's in the theme. So the theme just crawls all over it. Look, I said crawl. I said crawl, family.
All over this game.
So the theme is there.
Exactly.
The theme is there.
So you get immersed in it.
Yes.
As soon as you start building your species, you feel like, okay, this is what I need to do so I can survive. I want to make sure that if I'm going to be eaten by a predator, that I'm a weaker species.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to take out my strong species. Or you want to become a predator yourself.
Yes, or you want to be just a strong plant eater. You know, saying, hey, I'm going to sit over here and I want to eat my plants. Leave me alone, Mr. Predator, because I have my horns and I'm plated up. You know, I got my shield. Or I can be fast. I can run.
You're not gonna catch me.
Yes.
So yeah, the theme is there, and then the cards go with it.
Yes.
So when you get into the artwork of it, you feel it. You see the animals.
Well,
it's beautifully done.
Yes. You know, what's so cool is that each module has a different artist.
It does.
Now, one of my favorite artists is in here for Jurassic, Vincent Dutrait.
Yes.
You know, he's here, and I mean, when I saw that, I said, wait a minute. That Jurassic artwork looks like Vincent. So that's what it was. Yes. And I mean, just each one of the, modules have beautiful art.
All the
that
animals,
really brings
the
you
animals
in.
Just bring you in. And even the predators are beautiful to look at.
Really?
Yes, look at that.
No, look at that. That he cute. He trying to kill up some stuff.
But he's a pretty predator.
No, he a pretty predator. How you a pretty predator?
You know, and the components, like this first player token.
Yes.
What is this, a snow leopard? It's a first player token. Leopard, I think. And that's beautiful to look at. They're wooden components.
Yes.
All of your species tokens are made out of wood.
Now, this is the advanced prototype. Yes. And I think this is what you're going to get into the production. Right. So this is really cool. Cause, I mean, look at the chunky, woods for when, you grow your species or your animal when you try to get them big. It's just all there. And, when you get to Jurassic, the big chunky ones because you're building big dinosaurs. Because they're not small. They're big.
The dinos are big.
The dinos are big. So, the artwork and components are really nice.
And then you've got your little species tokens.
Yes.
You've got those. You've got your little food tokens for your vegetation.
Yes.
And then your little meat tokens. I mean, they thought of everything so that you can play this game and feel like you're in nature.
Yes, and feel like, you're really trying to, try to grow your population, your species, and you're trying to save them, or you're trying to gobble them up because you can't, your opponents might be all, kind of guarded from you. Like, wait a minute, since I can't eat my opponents, let me just go ahead and eat my little, species right over here. So, so it's really brings you in.
And so during the game, we were playing the game.
Yes.
I think once you understand the building of species, then you can play the game better. I know that when we were playing, I had to finally understand, okay, if I give my species an attribute of fast, and then I give them clawed, and then maybe I give them some armor, that's going to help protect me from other species. And I had to understand that. And once you get that foundation down, you can really play the game.
Well, you really got to strategize because you only have 3 traits that you can give to your species. So you have to really kind of decide, what do you want to do? Do I want to keep them just a plant eater? Or do I want to kind of say, okay, it's time for them to be a predator.
Yes.
And so you got to leave one, open, like with this one, like, hey, go ahead and make him a predator, turn, this over and say, okay, I can't go to watering hole no more. I can't have plants no more. I can't do that. Yes. I got to just try to chop up and chomp on some opponents or something else. So so you got to make those decisions of what you want to do. And will you have enough food? Right. In order, because if you turn over and you can't go to the watering hole, well, sometimes, the watering hole will run out of food.
It'll run out of food.
And you're like, oh my God. Now, like some of these cards will give you like special things where you might run out of, plants or, try to get some more meat. Like this social card. Social says +2 meat when eating meat. So I'm like, okay, so if one of my, cards say I'm eating meat, maybe I can use this to get some more meat because that watering hole might run out. And if it runs out, population starves and dies. We don't want that.
And that's why you have to keep an eye on your opponents and how they're building their species. Because if you're looking at the watering hole and it's only a few vegetation out there and you see your opponent who's going to play ahead of you has to take most of that vegetation, then you got to say, oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to be able to feed my species. True. I got to think about that, especially when I'm building more species.
Yes. Yeah. Now, the thing is that the person that made this, the designer made evolution. Right. Now in evolution, it was really tough because you really got eaten up and stuff like that, and you would lose your species, and because you can still, your species can, just go away. Right. But in evolution, it was a little bit tougher.
Right. But in this game, when the species goes away, let's say one of them dies out, then on the next round, you can get that species back.
Yeah, you get that species back, and it gets bigger. Because, let's say this one goes away, and when the next one comes, instead of it being a 1, it'll be a 2 plus 1 more, and it'll start off with a 3.
Right.
You know, and that's pretty cool.
Yes.
And then also, if, you know, let's see, I'll put that back. Now, if you're like one of your population starves to death, when you start up a new species, you get this population back, and you start off with 2 instead of just 1. Because usually when you start your species off in the next round, you'll get your species starts at 1, and it's a plant eater, and you get 1 population. But if in previous round you lost some population, it comes back. And you'll start off stronger, which is different from evolution, but I think is really cool.
But it gives you a chance to say, okay, maybe I messed up on this round, but I can get it back in the next round.
Yeah, and you have
an opportunity to keep growing and don't feel so defeated.
No, and it gives you a chance to keep on playing and say, hey, let me get a little bit better. So I like that. That's really cool.
So, I mean, this is Nature. It's really a very thematic game.
Yes, it is.
They did a really great job making it look good and making you feel immersed in the whole idea of the game, and then the gameplay. Once you get, once you understand how you build your species and how those species interact and how they interact with the other players on the board, this is a game you can play.
In the base game, you only have 4 rounds, but when you start adding modules, if you use a module, just 1 module, it goes to 5, and if you use 2 modules or more, it goes to 6 rounds. Now, the really cool thing is the modules really adds a lot of things in here. More cards, more nature cards. More variety. More ways.
More replayability.
Yes, more ways you can eat up some, your opponent or defend yourself. So it's really cool.
It adds challenges to the game.
Yes, it does.
So if you start off with the base game of Nature and then you decide to add the flight module, that gives you a whole different game.
A whole different aspect. And what if you do flight and natural disasters? Like, whoa, okay, that's a whole lot of challenging. So I really like how the modules come in. It can really change up stuff.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, so this is Nature.
Yeah, don't just take our word for it. Check it out for yourself. See if your game group, your family, hey, just see if you like it. Now, this will be coming out again on Kickstarter. Now, Starla, where can you find OFPG up in here in this Nature where we don't get eaten by no predator?
Well, if you're looking for Our Family Plays Games, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, right here on YouTube,
right here
on our website, and TikTok.
Yeah. Family, thank you so much for coming out for our preview of Nature, sponsored by NorthStar Games. Now, if you have any questions or comments, please put it down below. But just know this one little thing out here in Nature. We love you. Bye now.
Everybody.